What's up? What's happening? Good day, good afternoon to everyone, and you are tuned into Xtreme Sports. We're coming to you live on the WSSU 104.1 FM, your number one source for Tiger Pride. I am the X Factor, Xavier McKnight.
And I'm Randolph, Barratt.
And we have a very special guest in the building with us today. He is the Athletic Director of all of the Savannah State University Athletics here at the school. Please welcome Mr. Steward onto the show, also for our Athletics by the Marsh segment that we are reintroducing here on Xtreme Sports.
Good evening, gentlemen. How are you? Good afternoon, gentlemen. How are you?
We're doing very well, sir. How about yourself?
I'm wonderful. Just coming off a big victory, away victory. I snapped a real long losing streak, and I'm excited.
And yeah, let's segue into it. And I'd like to just start off this show by saying, just like we did on Xtreme Sports TV earlier this morning, in life, in business, and in college, people have many circumstances that they go through, whether they are financial hardships, academic struggling, illnesses, deaths, or serious injuries, or whatever the case may be there. And when things like that occur, they can derail someone's performance or lower their morale. It doesn't define who that person is when those type of circumstances happen. Now, there are two ways that people can handle a circumstance in that situation. There may be a person who can take a situation like that and let it fuel a fire in them that they did not know even existed. Just propel them to another level. And then the other way someone can handle that, it gets them down. They're grieving. And it takes them a while to get their mental psyche back together because something that catastrophic has happened, or whatever the case may be. This kind of perfectly defines the Savannah State football season for 2017 in my estimation, because this is a 1-7 football team by record. This is not a 1-7 football team on that field. And I've been saying this week after week after week. Injuries occur, and that's exactly what's happened with this team. But this week, we saw the younger guys step up. The freshman players in particular, they stepped up and they really brought it. And we saw some of those veteran leaders come back this week, like Juwan Tolbert, who had missed the past few games with the head injury. We saw that this week. And I'd also like to say this before I pass it off to Randolph and Mr. Steward. Adjustments are tough. You have to adjust to something almost all the time. Whether it's a new job, you're adjusting to college, you're adjusting to a new school, possibly a new church, whatever the case may be, adjustments are tough to go through. And they're also an acclimation process. You have to get acclimated. And in particular with these Savannah State football players, they're not only getting acclimated to a collegiate football system, they're getting acclimated to the college lifestyle, period. Things are moving a lot faster than they did when you were at home with your parents or your guardians and they were caring for you, and you're now in your own care. And they're slowly adjusting to things, and that's what I saw this weekend. And 5 freshmen who stood out the most to me: Makai Cooper, Tyquez Johnson, Jeremiah Bundridge, Jalen McLeod, and Devon Gibbons. I'll pass it off to Mr. Stewart now.
Well, I don't disagree with anything you just said, X Factor, Mr. Xavier. We would have liked to not have to play freshmen as much as we have to, but through attrition of injuries and just our circumstances currently, freshmen are asked to contribute much sooner than what the coaching staff would normally like them to. And sometimes, with all the factors that you just described, the speed of the college game is much faster than the speed of a high school game. And this is Division I, one of the highest levels on the collegiate sports or varsity sports. And so the game is even faster than normal. And you just saw a group of young men come together. And I totally agree with, this is a 1-7 team that, in my estimation, should be 8-0 or at worst 7-1. We would, and I say this constantly to the young men, we shoot ourselves in the foot not with a pistol but with a Uzi, and we put ourselves in bad situations after doing something really good, and that's been the story of our season. But on Saturday, I think they erased, at least for this game, they erased that pattern where, sometimes that ugly penalty bug or that ugly mistake came up, but they found a way to overcome. In the past 7 games, we couldn't find a way to overcome the mistake.
And before Randolph gets on the mic, I just like to simply say, and I opened up the show just simply by saying that in retaliation to some of the many things I saw on social media in regards to the team winning. I saw comments such as, well, it's about time. These boys are still trash. Y'all are celebrating over a 1-7 record like they just won a bowl game or something. You don't see how hard those players work and practice every single day. You don't see the game plan that the coaches put together. You're just judging that based on what you see in the record and what you see on a stat sheet.
And that's definitely why if I see any of these guys, I always tell them don't worry about what people are saying via social media, because I get to see it firsthand. I'm out there in the mornings for track practice, and I get to catch a little bit of their the football practices, and those guys really work hard at what they do. So for guys to say that they're still trash and all this other nonsense, it's uncalled for.
It very much is uncalled for. The Tigers will be back in action this Saturday in a home game against Delaware State University. Game time is set to begin at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. 5 p.m. Eastern Time, excuse me. So come out and support your Tigers. Now, we have some other sports teams that are doing some really great things around here, too. The golf team, they don't get enough love around here for the job that they do. They put together a very nice showing at the Tiger Fall Invitational in the past few days. The men's team finishing in second. Rochelle Orme qualifying for the all-tournament team. What can you just say about the job that you saw from the golf team, what they've been able to put together this fall?
Well, Coach Gilo is an excellent coach. He embodies the principle that we have in Savannah State Athletics, which is to do more with less. I think part of his success has been that he's been consistent. He's been here for a number of years. He's established his recruiting system, and he has a style in which the kids respond to. He's the lovable, rough granddad, and he takes no shorts, and he expects you to play above your ability. So we're satisfied with what they're doing, and you're right. They don't get as much love as some of the other sports, but to be honest, X Factor, it's only really 3 sports that get the kind of love that you're talking about. For whatever reason, in our society, men's and women's basketball and football, they're the revenue, they're the big boys, so they're going to get the love. Unfortunately, we have Olympic sports that does well across the board for us.
Now, we also have basketball season that is preparing to tip off in just a few days. First game is on Friday. It's an exhibition game. I believe it's against Middle Georgia College, if I'm not mistaken, Middle Georgia State.
I can't tell you that I'm not. I'm still in football mode, and so I haven't committed the other schedules to memory yet. So I know we play on. I believe we play tomorrow. We have women's basketball tomorrow, I believe. And then the men on Friday, or it's vice versa. I can't remember which one. I know we play starting tomorrow and Friday.
Yeah, the women's basketball, they kick off their scrimmage against Wesleyan College tomorrow at 7 p.m. in Tiger Arena, and the men kick off their exhibition scrimmage Friday against Payne College.
Right.
At 6 p.m. Eastern Time on Friday.
Correct.
Also, there is a volleyball game that will be played on Friday as well. That game will be played at 4 p.m. also in Tiger Arena. Just so everyone can be up to date with what's going on with Savannah State sports.
And this week we titled this week Tiger Week. So we invite everyone to come out. The first 100 faculty staff that come to the basketball, volleyball game, we will permit them to come to the football game if they're not season ticket holders, free of charge.
I'm glad you brought that up because the Sports Management Club and also the Department of Athletics, they held a sports panel last night in the Elmore Theater, and you were one of the special guests in attendance. What can you just say about how you feel that panel went, the turnout of the crowd, and things of that nature?
The turnout was rather decent. You always like to see a full room, but it wasn't a full room. I thought the Sports Management Club did a wonderful job in selecting panel guests. and they had some excellent questions. And I think that all the panelists provided sincere, thoughtful, and insightful information for the young people that was in attendance. It was directed towards the sports industry, but to be honest, it was professional advice. It was because the sports industry isn't really different than any other industry. So it's about being a professional and understanding and learning how to be a professional. I thought that the information that was exchanged with the audience was highly informative to young people trying to break into or get their career started.
Really good information here. Just thanks to Mr. Stewart for that.